Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we'll go ahead and start with our invocation and our pledge of allegiance.
Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we are meeting here today to conduct matters of business. We ask that you guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Please allow us to grant us wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a report from the Mission Chamber of Commerce.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I'll begin with past events. In terms of past events, we just had our small business branding workshop, which was held at the Seed Building. We had 19 members in attendance for this workshop. Next on the agenda, we just wrapped up our 2017 annual banquet, which was held this past Thursday at Mario's Ballroom. It was a pleasure to have the support of the Mayor and City Council there for this event. Overall, I'm happy to state we had approximately 280 people attend this event. In terms of upcoming events, this Wednesday we'll continue our Thinking Outside the Box Small Business Workshop series. This is the third business workshop in the series, and this workshop will discuss payroll compliance. The workshop will be held at the Seed Building again from 9 to 11 a.m. Following that, we have our Pizza with the President scheduled for Thursday, October 26th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 at the Chamber of Commerce. This event is to share overall Chamber information with potential and new members and answer any pending questions they may have. Later on that same day, we have a ribbon cutting for one of our newest members, Whistling Duck, from 4 to 5 p.m. This event will take place at Whistling Duck's location, which is at 1603 East Griffin Parkway here in Mission. To round out the week, we have another ribbon cutting from one of our other newest members, Brickfire Pizza and More, which will take place on Friday, October 27th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The ribbon cutting will take place at Brickfire's location, which is located at 704 East Griffin Parkway here in Mission. On Friday, November 3rd, we will relaunch our Coffee Connections Network series, which will occur at 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. The event will take place at Jitter's newest location inside the Seed Building, which is located at 801 North Bryan Road here in Mission. And then lastly, we will continue our bi-monthly business mixer series, which will take place on November 16th at Cimarron Country Club from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 2 chamber members will be recognized, which will be Bert Ogden and HEB for their Hurricane Harvey relief efforts. Subsequently, we'll have 3 nonprofits benefit from the proceeds, which will be the RGV Food Bank, Habitat for Humanity, and the American Red Cross. All 3 of these nonprofits also played a vital role in Hurricane Harvey relief efforts, which is the reason they will also be honored. And tickets are $20 for attendees, which will be allowed to choose which nonprofit they choose to have the proceeds benefited to the nonprofit. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
Next item is the department report, and it's in your packet, and I think
Yes, Mayor.
there's something else. so-
Yes, if I may, Mayor, before you ask for a motion on the departmental reports, we do have our Director of Public Works, Mr. Roberto Salinas, who's got a report on our street department task force. As you're aware of, late July this year, we had a city council workshop where we introduced 5 new members to our staff, and creating a street department task force. And there was a list of projects that we had for the next 3 months, and so we're at the end of those 3 months. Robert?
Yes. Yes, we are. Once we get the PowerPoint going, good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members. As our City Manager mentioned, I'm going to be presenting the 10 streets that we were committed at that workshop that we have on late July. And we'll go over all the streets once we get going with the PowerPoint.
You should make the changes.
Okay.
What's happening?
Okay, so this, Mayor, this is the task force, the task force that we had assembled to do 10 of our streets in 10 months. With that, we purchased new equipment. Can you go to the next slide? And we started overlaying various streets throughout the city of Mission. The first 10 streets, those were the streets that were committed during that workshop. And then we had another 4 that we added on through the course of those 10 overlays that we had. And then, of course, we had the 2017 county interlocal agreement, of course, with Hidalgo County, and we overlaid 6 streets throughout the city of Mission. I'm going to go through each one of them, showing before and after pictures and, of course, location maps. But just to show the amount that was used just on materials only, for these 20 streets were $551,000. That's the last number on the bottom of your of the presentation. And if we can go ahead and start with the first street, the first of the 10 streets that were committed to the city of Mission, to the mayor and the city council. First one was the alley between West 14 and West 13th Street. This is west of Conway. The project cost was of $2,500, just on materials only. This is the before and after picture of the alley. We can go to the next one. The next street was Quita Circle, that's west of Claiborne Street. The approximate cost was about $5,300, and that was just for materials only. That's I guess the after and before picture, so we were trying to show the aftermath of the overlay. We can go to the next street. This is Waggon City South, and this is just a perimeter alley that we were committed to do. Can you go to the next slide so that we can show the before and after pictures after we did the overlay. So that's what we have on Waggon City South, and that's the perimeter alley. If we go to the next street, we have the alley between Jones and Holland Street. That's just north of Business 83. The total construction cost, or just for materials only on the asphalt, was of $10,000. And of course, that's the before and after pictures of that alley north of Business 83. On the next street committee or alley, that was the alley between Francisco and Lomita Avenue. That's north of Citriana Drive. The total construction cost for this project was of $12,250, and that was just on materials only, just the asphalt material. And those are before and after pictures throughout the alley between Francisco and Lomita. We go to the next streets. This is Francisco between Tom Landry and East 12th and 11th Street, between Oblate and Francisco. The total construction cost of this project was of $26,000. Again, this is materials only, just for asphalt. And this is the before and after pictures on the overlay. Pending, of course, the striping on this road. We're gonna finish that striping within this next week or so. The next road is 12th Street, and that's between Conway Avenue and Kika de la Garza. Again, this one, it's also pending the striping, but we will finish the striping this week, and we're going to show some of the before and after pictures as well for this street. If we go to the next one is Palm Circle Streets and Alleys. That's just north of 495, east of Mayberry, is that subdivision. So we did all the streets and the alley and the perimeter alley around that subdivision. The total construction cost for this project was of $46,000, $750, and that was just for materials only. And then we have some other pictures showing the alleys on Palmetto Alley before and after. The next street is Tulipan Street, and this is in the Northwest Mission area. This is from mile 2 north to the cul-de-sac. The total construction cost for this project was of $62,500. This is just on materials only. We're going to show some before and after pictures for this project. We go to the next one. The next one it's Moorfield Road, which is from Business 83 to US 83. And the total construction cost of this project was of $31,000 just on materials only, just the overlay. And there we have some of the before and after pictures for this road, which actually we paved last week. We completed last week pending the striping, so we'll continue with the striping this week. So that was completed. The next road was an add-on, which is Mayberry Road, which is from Bryce Street to FM 495. This is by the golf course, the Mission Golf Course. The total construction cost of the project is of $42,374, and we can see the before and after picture of this road. The next add-on street within those 3 months was the alley behind Conway and Tom Landry, and the construction cost was of $2,228. That was just on materials only, and this is just an alley west of Conway. The next road was Dinastia and Dorado, that's on Tierra Dorada. The total construction cost of this project was of $4,630, and that's the before and after picture of the street overlay. And then the next add-on was Lago Court, that's on Cimarron Country Club. That's the cost that we had for this project was of $3,738, and that's the before and after picture of that street that we overlaid. Next, we have the county interlocal street projects that we had with the interlocal between the Hidalgo County and the City of Mission. The total construction cost for this project, and this is on materials only, was of $200,000. First, we have Los Ébanos. We have Los Ébanos, and this is from 2 Mile north to the city limits. And of course, these streets have been paved by now. We go to the next road. We have Stewart Road, and again, this is from 2 Mile north to the city limit. This has been paved, and the striping has been completed as well. If we go to the next one, this is Bryan Road, and again, it's from 2 Mile north to the city limits. This was overlaid and striped as well. And then we have Glasscock Road, again from 2 Mile line north to the city limits. And this road has been paved and striped as well. And then we have Mayberry Road, again from 2 Mile line north to the city limits, and this has been paved and overlaid as well. And then we have Ansalduas Drive, and this is from FM 494 to a levee, and that's on the southmost part of Mission going into the Ansalduas Park area. And these are all the 20 streets, combination of streets and alleys that we completed within these 3 months, pending striping on 12th Street and Moorfield Road as well. And this next map or location map shows all the dots where we did some work either on an alley or a street, and those are the projects spread throughout the City of Mission city limits. And that's the final part of my presentation as far as the streets task force completed projects up to date.
Okay, you have the list of the next 30 days?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a list of the next ones?
We have several streets that I have brought to the city manager. We're going to go over them and continue the overlay program that we have.
Okay, bring us a list so we can look at them.
Yes, sir. We do.
Anything else from the council?
No, thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Very nice. It is a good program that we have going, and it's going to be going on till next November, not this November, but the following November. So we should be able to do a lot of our streets overlaid, so we can have better roads for our constituents. We do need a motion to approve the department reports.
Move to approve.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Citizens' participation, do we have anybody from the audience that would like to address the council? Not having anything with the agenda. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I'll start with the good news. If you are a AAA member, you receive the AAA magazine, Texas Highways, which September, October featured butterflies and Mission, Texas, and the National Butterfly Center. And this is not press that was paid for. This is free and fabulous, and we do have visitors starting to trickle in saying they saw us in AAA. Each of you has the invitation for the annual Texas Butterfly Festival in front of you. It's that time of year again. We're doing our inaugural Monarch 5K Fun Run. Please come out for that. And also, Green Mountain Energy Sun Club gave us $88,000 this year to convert our visitors pavilion to solar power. And the executive director of that organization will be arriving Friday before the festival. He would like to meet with the city manager, other representatives of Mission to see how he might support nonprofits in our community. Our solar array has reduced our energy bill by over 70%. That is money that now stays in our pocket, and that is clean, green energy. So I'll be meeting with you about that. Now for the bad news. Our festival registration this year has fallen by 94 participants. It is directly related to the border wall. So I want to thank you all for the anti-wall resolution. It makes a difference, but the reverberations are significant. Those 94 people would usually amount to more than 94 because some people come and register, but they still bring their spouses and such. If they only stayed for 4 nights, and if they each spent the $172 a person that the McAllen CVB values each visitor at, that would be a loss of dollars spent in the city of Mission of $65,000. And most of these people come and stay for a full week. So the negative economic impact is tremendous. And while you guys have done so much and understand it's a federal issue, we need to understand it's a state issue also. And I'm asking for your support dealing with our state representatives. 2 weeks ago, an employee of Benson State Park at a public meeting announced that Benson State Park will close if the border wall is built. So the reverberation there will be even more significant for our community as a whole, and the economic impact and the positive publicity that environmental tourism bring to the city of Mission. So anything I can do to help. Last week I had reporters from Arizona and reporters from Florida who flew in. I also had Michael Bean, the former Assistant Secretary of the Interior under President Obama, came on his own dollar to visit and see what he can do to help. So I appreciate your support, and I hope to see you at the Butterfly Festival Friday and Saturday and at the banquet on Monday. Are there any questions?
Real good, thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Anybody else who would like to address the council? If not, we're going to our public hearings. Mr. Acevedo?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1A is a public hearing for a conditional use permit for a drive-through service window at Taco Monchis El Bebé. The address is 1500 West Griffin Parkway, being Lot 1 of Block 2, Cinco de Mayo subdivision. The property is zoned C3, and the applicant is Aide Moreno Peña. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On October 11, 2017, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The subject site is located at the northwest corner of Wednesday and Griffin Parkway. Mayor and Council, over the past 10 years, we've seen various different businesses come into this corner little business suite and use that drive-through service window. However, since a CUP for a drive-through window is not transferable to others and a new operator has gone in, the drive-through CUP needs to be reconsidered at this time. There was no opposition during the P&Z meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval. Staff is recommending approval for 1 year to assess this new operation, compliance with all building, fire, and health codes, and that they comply with the city's sign, landscaping, and fence buffering code since there is a residence to the north. And we're also asking that they acquire a business license. Our city manager is also recommending approval. This is a public hearing. Item 1.1A is now before you.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody from the audience in favor or against? If not, the recommendation is to approve ordinance 4567 and also approve the conditional use permit.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Do we have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. Item B.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1B is a public hearing for a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at Buffalo Wings and Rings located at 907 South Sherry Road, Lot 2A of Colorado Subdivision. The property is owned C3 and the applicant is MS&PS LLC in Curve Alejandro Espinosa. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On October 11, 2017, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The 5,171 square foot restaurant is located at the northeast corner of Sherry Road and Colorado Street. This UP was most recently approved by the P&Z for a period of 8 months on February 22nd of 2017 to assess access to the restaurant is both from Sherry Road and from Colorado Street. There have been some prior concerns with the number of PD reports that have been coming in from this particular restaurant. However, during the period that this item was last approved up until this most recent P&Z meeting, there was only one incident that could be related to the sale of alcohol. So the number of incidents has gone down. The hours of operation are Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. and Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Parking and landscaping meet code. This restaurant does have a bar component which requires that there be no churches, schools, or residents within 300 feet of the restaurant. There are no such uses. There was no public opposition during the P&Z meeting. The board unanimously recommended approval. Staff is also recommending approval of the CUP for a period of 2 years, at which time the applicant will have to renew their TABC license and conditional use permit. Our city manager is also recommending approval. This is a public hearing. Item 1.1B is now before you.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against this request? If not, we are getting the recommendation to approve ordinance 4568 and also to adopt conditional use permit for the Buffalo Wings and Rings at 907 South Cherry Road.
So move, Mayor.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So the approval is for 2 years? That's the
Yes.
recommendation, and that's because of the license renewal with TABC?
That's correct. It'll fall in line with the TABC permit.
So then, what we're saying is that all of these permits will be tied to that
To the state.
license?
To the
So
state
every-
license.
Every 2 years, they're going to have to come in and get their...
Correct.
'cause I remember we used to see, 3-year and more.
Yes, one of the things that we were having issues was the enforcement part of it. So when we aligned it to the state requirement expiration date, it aligned our enforcement as well. So it just made it a lot easier for staff as well. So every 2 years is a recommendation.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear. Was there a second?
We have a second,
I'll
and
second it then.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item C.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1C is a public hearing for a conditional use permit for the sale and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at the Loreto at Mission. The address is 1233 East Griffin Parkway, being Lot 1 and the south 25 feet of Lot 2 of Block 1, Bel Air Heights subdivision. The property is zoned C2 and the applicant is Lag Associates LLC. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On October 11, 2017, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The subject site is located at the northwest corner of Orange Drive and Griffin Parkway. There was public opposition during the P&Z meeting. Some of the concerns that were voiced were that vehicles and delivery trucks were parking and blocking the residential driveways and the public alleys. They also mentioned loud music coming from the garden patio area past 10 p.m. residential driveways being used as turnaround points, and beer bottles on residential yards. In viewing the location map, there are residences within 300 feet. The city's alcohol beverage and zoning code states that a business must be at least 300 feet from the nearest residence, church, school, or publicly owned property. So if this item is to be approved, we would require a waiver of that requirement. The board did approve this conditional use permit with excessive, I believe, requirements. They approved it subject to continued compliance with all fire and health codes, continued compliance with TABC requirements, and the waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement, as well as the placement of internal and external signage for no parking, and the placement of an 8-foot concrete masonry wall along the northern perimeter line. And they also requested the enforcement from the City of Mission PD on parking. And their approval was based on a 90-day approval only to ensure that these items are met. Staff, however, is recommending approval of the CUP with continued compliance with fire and health codes, approval for a period of now until December the 5th of 2018, at which time they will have to renew their TABC license, and the waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement. Our city manager is also in support of staff's recommendation. Item 1.1C is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody in favor or against this request?
Hi, my name is Julio Cerda, 1602 Solar Drive. I'm in favor of Loreto. It's been a great establishment for the City of Mission. I think management and everybody there have taken care of this place, this new restaurant that we've had there. I think staff's recommendation as a planning and zoning member, that I wasn't able to be there because my school board calls first, but I'm in favor for it. This is an alcoholic beverage, CUP, not nothing else. So I just wanted to come up and say that.
Thank you, Julio. Anybody else? Just state your name and address.
Good afternoon. My name is Francisco Martinez, 2309 Orange. I live right next to their property there. I am the one that requested the high fence because it was promised 3 years ago, and it hasn't been done. And we also have a lot of trouble with the traffic. We feel that, the increase by selling liquor and all is going to increase the traffic, the deliveries, and the people and all. So all I'm looking for is, what are we going to do? Signs, people don't pay attention to signs. And the fence, the noise and all. And this is something that we address there. I don't know nobody else here, but we don't mind. I don't mind whatever they sell there. We need to live and let live. But I was there first. And I need what was promised to me to be done so this can continue. So if you please somehow find this, and she can do these things, I'm not against it at all. But you got to take care of that. In a day's period, I have one car to maybe 10 or 12 cars that come into the driveway, because their parking is not sufficient for a turnaround. The alley is not wide enough to back up onto the alley. And sure enough, none of you and none of me would back up on 495. This is an issue that was here for the city.
Well, I'm back up on my street on 83 every day from my office to the back. We just need to be careful. And I'm going to vote, and this is because we haven't had any complaints from the place at all. Not me, I have gotten one call. You have never called me. And all I hear from everybody else is just good things about the place. So I just do not understand why you say we have to build the big fence behind the restaurant, when I know it's not necessary, because nobody drinks outside. Everybody drinks inside with their food. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And I don't know what the problem is with you, but have to understand the people that are in business and the people that have not called us.
Well, let me tell you something.
And the staff is here. Have you gotten any calls?
No,
No, Mayor, we have not
No?
received any calls.
Okay. Do you recommend the fence at the back?
The fence was already put up. Now they're asking for a bigger fence.
Okay, well,
The fence is incorrect, sir.
okay.
Ms.
Martin Garza.
Garza is aware of this, so is Chief. There's been a lot of incidences where we've been attacked by people who park in our yard and attack my mom or me because they say they have the right to park there because they're just going next door to eat because their family doesn't work out that way. That's not the way it is.
Okay,
Just
well,
because we've called Chief that many reports, the last one.
on the parking, when you had the problem with the parking, we did hear from you and from the chief, and I thought we had taken care of the parking.
No, it has not been taken care of.
Well-
And on Sundays, you can have people park up and down the side of the street because they're coming to have brunch. And, you know, what they do is they.
Are they still
all
parking
down
on the side,
street.
over and above the jurisdiction?
Mayor, if you remember correctly, we did no parking on that roadway from the northernmost portion of the restaurant to the end of the white apartments. Then we had complaints from the residents living there that they did not want the no parking. So that's when we came back to you and we just did 100 feet on each side of the road from the edge of that property line for 100 feet both on the right and on the left. Mr. Martinez being one of the complainants and Mr. Scotty Espinosa on the other side. So the no parking just goes 100 feet on both sides of the road. Mr. Ben Cavazos and the other residents wanted to park on the side of the road. So we amended the ordinance, and that's what we currently have in place. Now, he is correct, I think his mom called me like 2 months ago that I believe she puts a chain across the back because their driveway is in the back of the house, and people tend to drive into the driveway to turn back. I asked her at the time if she wanted to file a police report. She said no, she didn't. Obviously brought it to my attention. But those are the issues really in the back. You know, obviously it's an issue that they've had there for a while. You know, I suggested a gate, but obviously that's up to them as property owners if they want to do that. But I think she usually puts a chain out, a small chain.
Okay.
Right.
So the last time there was an occurrence and she called you, the officers did go out and they did file a report.
Right.
But we don't need to be attacked inside our driveway, halfway into your yard. You don't have to have somebody come and do that and say they have the right to because there's some engineer in McAllen. We don't care.
Right.
That's our property. We live there, and they should be respectful, right? Another thing is, when you have people who come and they want to park all the way up against the garage, and they're going to unload their things because they're going to a baby shower or something like that, that really has no concern in our property, and they really need to, really realize that, you ask them to move nicely.
Are they parking in front of your house?
In front of the house and in the back, where the garage is and the driveway.
Okay.
They go all the way up.
Well, I think all we can do is that you go ahead and patrol more and make sure that there's a no parking sign there in front of their houses and that nobody's drinking behind the restaurant. I think it's our job to do that.
Right, sir, and I think we marked the curb as well, if I remember correctly. We put up signs and...
It's, like a foot and a half of red,
Right.
and that's it.
Okay, which is where the fire hydrant is at, and then we have the sign for the one...
No, there's a red one right up against our property, as it starts from a separated area property.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much. We
Well, let's see what we can do with all of them. Now, what are we going to do about this fence? So, that's my
But the
question.
what, sir?
What are we going to do about the fence?
Well,
That's all right.
this is something that we're going to take care of today. I don't know what we're going to do about the fence, but I need to take care of what I have on the item right here.
That's fine. There should be some pictures there of the fence so you can get an idea what it looks like.
Okay, thank you, sir.
very much.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Anybody else that would like to address the council concerning the item on the agenda? If not, the recommendation from our city manager is that we approve, not in 90 days, but I'm going to recommend that we approve a year and 3 months, so we can fall with the same date as the license,
Which is December the 5th.
which would be December the 5th, 2018.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
So, and the ordinance number is 4569. And we have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Now, you need to go check the fence, because it's got to be in, I'm not going to recommend that we put a black fence, but the fence should be in más o menos good shape.
They have a cedar fence with about 2 feet of block on the bottom, but now they're asking for an 8-foot masonry block wall.
So the,
We are not doing, we didn't do that right now. We approved it as it is right now, and it's what we have right now, and they should be able to keep the fence in good shape.
Yes,
Not 8 foot, but what we have there right now.
yes.
And if it's falling down, we need to talk to the people that own the restaurant to go ahead and fix it. But nothing has changed. It's just the date of the license will be due on December the 5th of 2018. And I want to apologize to Ms. Gonzalez for the behavior of one of the members of the planning and zoning. We are going to address him. He was very, I hear that he was not in a very good tone that morning, that day. And we are going to address it, and we're going to talk to him. And I'm very sorry that all of the members there were not thinking correctly, because one of them should have put a stop to the man that was embarrassing you and saying those awful things that I saw on the script of the minutes. We do not allow that here. And we're not happy about what happened, and Julio came today because he failed to be at the meeting, and we are going to be addressing him also. But he should have been there to take care of what happened. So again, I'm sorry, and I hope you all work together, and whatever else we can do for you, let us know, and the same thing for Mr. Martinez, that whatever else we can do for him, and we're going to keep an eye on the people that are going to be parking there, and we surely want to keep Mr. Martinez happy and the family. So again, thank you all very much for being here. Next item is item D.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 1.1D is a public hearing for a conditional use permit for a home occupation for a beauty and body spa at 2707 Sonora Avenue, being Lot 49, Redstone Estate Subdivision. The property is zoned R1, and the applicant is Laura Brusolo. And if the council is inclined to approve this conditional use permit, it would require the adoption of an ordinance. On October 11, 2017, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing to consider this conditional use permit request. The subject site is located near Sonora Avenue and Grovewood Avenue intersection along the north side of Sonora. The applicant wishes to obtain a home occupation for a beauty and body spa salon from her residence. A section of the home will be converted into the beauty and body spa. The proposed hours are Monday through Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. by appointment only, with herself as the only employee. I did have a chance to go visit at the site, and one thing that I saw was that there was many devices that the applicant is intended to use. Some of those devices were for body sculpturing. It is noted that the applicant has a valid Texas aesthetics license, which allows you to work on the face and arms, but not on any other parts of the body. And staff also did some research on some of these machines, and what we found was that they must be used in a clinical setting. So based on our findings, even though there was no opposition at the P&Z meeting, the board unanimously recommended denial of this conditional use permit. Staff is also recommending denial. Approving the CUP may lead to other non-permitted uses which staff could not monitor. Our city manager is also recommending denial. This is a public hearing. Item 1.1D is now before you.
Anybody in favor or against this request? Anybody from the application is here? Nobody's here from the application? You want to say anything?
En español. Me llamo Laura Brusolo. Yo tengo 10 años viviendo en este país. Yo tengo 2 bachelors, hice mis transcript aquí. No puedo yo trabajar de mis bachelors porque no tengo suficiente inglés para tomar la certificación como dietitian registrada o como contador público. Entonces decidí agarrar otra carrera. O sea, yo he trabajado de voluntario y empecé a estudiar inglés. No sabía inglés, todavía me falla. Y ahorita ya terminé como esteticista. Mi licencia dice yo puedo agarrar todo lo que es brazo, de hombro para arriba. Existe para agarrar cuerpo se necesita masaje, la licencia de masajista, pero yo no agarro cuerpo, todo lo que hago es moldear cuerpo con máquinas. Sin embargo, yo por ver este impedimento de que yo no puedo tratar cuerpo, o sea, yo empiezo a estudiar por mi licencia de masajista, el 9 de noviembre empiezo. Yo trabajo en un spa, ahorita actualmente, por la Klosner y la Canton, con una amiga. Yo tengo facilidad de horario para salir. Está muy lejos, yo invito a mis amigas que viven alrededor de mi casa, que vayan allá a visitarme al spa, pero se les hace muy lejos. Entonces, yo tengo ese cuarto desocupado, la casa es grande, yo solamente vivo con mi esposo, tengo un garage donde están para mis 2 carros que tengo y tengo espacio de estacionamiento para 4 carros afuera. Solamente es un cuarto, el cuarto tiene closet y baño por separado, puedo entrar por adentro de la casa, puedo entrar por fuera de la casa, hay un espacio, puede ser privado, puede ser, o sea, que entren por la casa o que entren por fuera. Yo más que nada no quiero dejar de trabajar, yo en el spa donde trabajo, pero sin embargo tengo amigos, tengo clientes en el área de Mission, en la de Sherland, que ellos me piden que les haga sus trabajos. Yo agradecería mucho que me dieran la oportunidad, ¿verdad? Ha sido difícil salir yo adelante en este país. Y esto es algo que me gusta y algo en que yo siento que estoy preparada.
Muchas gracias. Who's going to translate that for us?
Best as I can.
And so we know why they're denying it.
Yes, sir. Mayor and Council, her name was Laura, and I didn't get the first name, but she is the applicant requesting the permit. She's been living here for 10 years, and she does have a higher education. However, the English language is what impedes her to succeed in another business. She's been volunteering at different organizations. Right now, she has been a certified aesthetician. She knows that she's only allowed to work from the arms up, none of the body contouring. Currently, she's working as a massage therapist at a spa in Edinburgh, but however, her clients are from the Mission area and they find it difficult to travel all the way to Edinburgh, and that's why she's looking to establish her business within her home. Her home has ample space and it has access from the inside and from the outside, making it very private. She is looking for a favor in this particular request that she has here today.
It's a beauty shop?
It's like a spa shop where she would do massage and the contouring of the arms and up.
Ms. Ida, but she also said that she's going to go get a certification for the other.
For the rest of the body?
So can she come back when she gets that?
Okay. Pásele para enfrente. Ahorita sí está, usted puede hacer el trabajo de los brazos para arriba y va a buscar el entrenamiento para hacer todo el cuerpo completo.
La certificación como terapista de masaje dice que puedo agarrar con mis manos el cuerpo, pero realmente terapista de masaje no habla nada de utilizar aparatos. No está eso especificado en ninguna ley, solamente certificaciones especiales para poder manejar aparato en el cuerpo.
So just as a massage therapist, she can obviously touch the entire body. With the equipment that she has, she understands that she cannot touch the rest of the body, only from the arms up. So.
But she will be providing the service, I mean, not with the hands, but using the machines.
La maquinaria que va a usar, entiende que no lo puede usar en el resto del cuerpo.
Yo agradecería ahorita el permiso para hacer solamente lo que es faciales, pestañas, maquillaje, todo lo que yo puedo tocar, y de aquí a un año que yo termine mi terapia como terapista de masaje, yo venir a aplicar por el otro permiso para poder trabajar en cuerpo.
She's going to continue her education. Right now what she's looking for is to have the beauty spa of it, where she would do facials and the beauty aspect of eyelashes and makeup and some of the massage. And in 1 year, when she finishes her certification, she would work on the body contouring with the equipment that she has. She'd come back and request a permit.
Why is planning and zoning denying it?
La razón que Planning and Zoning, no sé si entienda, la razón de Planning and Zoning que no le está aprobando su permiso es por el uso de la maquinaria, que dentro de lo que ellos han visto y han hecho su labor en eso, nada más no se puede utilizar esas máquinas, solamente que sea en un edificio médico.
Todas las máquinas que yo tengo, yo sé cuál es la diferencia en trabajar bajo la orden de un médico o trabajar solamente como esteticista. Todas las máquinas que yo tengo no son a nivel médico.
She says her machines are at the level of an esthetician, which is what she is, not necessarily in a medical facility.
Well, very confused here, so.
Mayor, if I may, one of the things that would make it very difficult for staff to be able to enforce and recommend something like this is that when you're dealing with a home occupation, most of our home occupation conditional permits that we give out is for stuff that has nothing to do with clinical stuff. And so these are machines that are being used on somebody's person, that the city staff doesn't have really the requirements to monitor. And so what we recommend is that she find a place in a commercial setting where there's any type of licensing or any type of state requirement that the state has a physical address that they can actually go and be able and check up on that. What we least want is for us to receive complaints of people that might be going to her place and we really don't have the ability to monitor something like this in a home setting. And that's a concern that the city has, and I'm sure that's a concern that the Planning and Zoning Board also saw themselves.
Tell me that.
La razón que la ciudad tiene cuidado con esto es porque como la maquinaria es requerida que se use en una área médica, nosotros no tenemos las licencias para poder verificar que sí se están usando la máquina como deben de usarse, ¿verdad? Puede haber algún caso donde la ciudad de Mission puede recibir quejas de sus pacientes que tuvieron algún problema con la maquinaria que usted usó o algún tratamiento que les hizo y nosotros no tenemos la habilidad para poder checar bien cómo se está haciendo su proceso porque nosotros no tenemos esa licencia, ¿verdad? Lo que sugiere aquí la ciudad de Mission es que usted esté en un sitio comercial donde se puede usar esa maquinaria.
Yo lo primero que hice fue tratar de pedir aquí un permiso de la ciudad. El segundo paso es pedir un permiso de TDLR, quien es quien regula lo de las máquinas, los faciales, incluso a partir de noviembre también controla masajes, rayos láser y todas esas cosas. Yo para poder tener un permiso de TDLR para trabajar en mi casa es como si yo sacara un permiso para trabajar en un salón, en un edificio aparte comercial. Es exactamente la misma solicitud que yo mando y ellos me autorizan o no me autorizan y ellos tienen sus reglas para checar si me autorizan o no me autorizan. A mí también me llegarían supervisores, así como llegan a los spas o a los salones de belleza, también me llegarían a mí a revisar que yo todo tenga en orden. Yo no voy a comprometer lo que es mi licencia.
She's stating that the regulating or the licensing department that would regulate her, whether it was at home or in a commercial setting, would be the same. She would still undergo the same types of inspections, whether she's operating out of her home or operating out of a commercial
Well, but
business.
it's very hard to go ahead and regulate her at home. We won't have any problems if we saw her renting a place on a regular plaza where there's other businesses and the city has more ability to regulate them. And there's been a lot of people that use these houses and say they're going to do this and do something else. And we don't want to go into that. But I agree that she needs help, but I think she needs to go and find a place on a plaza or downtown, or there's a lot of spaces right now that she could rent, and probably we would be able to give her an opportunity there, but not at her home. I wouldn't mind a beauty shop in the house, but not with everything she's got here.
La ciudad de Mission no está dispuesto a reconocer un permiso de este tipo solamente por las regulaciones que existen. Y nosotros no podemos regular este tipo de negocio en casa, pero sí podría apoyar que usted estuviera dentro de un sitio comercial.
Ok, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. Well, the recommendation is to deny, and would like to have a motion to go ahead and...
So move, Mayor.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to go ahead and deny the proposal or the permits or the conditional use permit. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. Item D.
2.1.
Mayor, that was item D.
2.1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item 2.1 is the disposition of minutes, and we need to approve the city council meetings that we had on October the 9th of 2017.
Move to approve.
Second, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. We also have to acknowledge the receipt of the minutes that we had for the Citizens Advisory Committee meeting that we had on September the 12th, 2017. Planning and Zoning Commission meeting that we had on September the 27th of 2017. The Mitchell Civil Service Commission, September the 27th of 2017. And the Juvenile and Delinquency Prevention and Advisory Board that had a meeting on July the 6th of 2017. Spear Memorial Library also had one on September the 19th of 2017. We do need a motion to acknowledge the receipt of these minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. We now go into item 4.1. Ms. Carrillo, you have an
Yes,
ordinance?
Mayor, Council, good afternoon. This would be approval of ordinance number 4570, granting a wet designation for 1928 North Conway, Suite A, the Sugar Shack. Mayor, Council, this would be a convenience store, and it's for the sale and off-site consumption of alcoholic beverages. And staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Do have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 4570. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against,
Thank you.
motion carries. Item 40.2, Mr. Guzman.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 4.2 is a contract to renew Datamatic, a sole source vendor for the meter reader software license and maintenance agreements. This provides telephone support for the RoadStar meter reading system and hardware and software maintenance on the Hellhand units. The cost is $11,829.27. Renewal period from October the 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2018. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Do we need a motion for the recommendation?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a question, Mayor.
We have a motion. You have a question?
Yes, sir.
You tell me.
Just want to ask if this meter reading system is aligned with smart meters?
No, not yet.
Okay, do
We
we
would
have
need,
plans
we would
on-
need to get, a full, top section for the smart meters. Not yet.
Do we have plans on
We have looked into it.
studying it and?
We have looked into it, but the cost is a little high, so
Okay.
we're still investigating that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4.3 is our fire chief.
Mayor and Council, item 4.3, authorization to purchase bunker gear from NAVCO via by board contract 524-17 for the Mission Fire Department to purchase 22 sets of firefighting bunker gear to replace outdated and reaching mandatory 10-year retirement period as set by NFPA. The total estimate cost is $49,280. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Item 4.4, authorization to purchase self-contained breathing apparatus bottles via by board contract 524-17 from Metro Fire Apparatus Specialists, Inc. for the Mission Fire Department to purchase 28 30-minute SCBA bottles and 6 60-minute SCBA bottles to replace outdated and reaching mandatory 10-year retirement period as set by NFPA. The total cost is $29,740. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move for approval.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation and of $29,740. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa, where is he?
Sanchez.
4.5.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I come before you to present item 4.5, approval of resolution number
1527.
appointing a representative to the task force and entering the interlocal agreement between the City of Mission and University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, appointing Mr. Juan de la Garza as the representative to the task force. Task force provides assistance with the research, educational services, and technical support, and entails participation in the regional task force, which aids with the compliance of TCEQ, federal EPO laws and regulations, a total cost of $14,000. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
We have a recommendation of $14,000 for the task force. We do need a motion for approval.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Do have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation by the city manager. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I also have item 4.6, approval of work authorization number 30 with LNG Engineering for GIS project. Phase 13 integrating GIS projects and data maintenance entails and gathering on maintenance of data sets and as well as upgrading data projects. LNG Engineering in association with La Playa Mapping will be involved with the development and deployment of the citywide GIS system for a total cost of $95,450. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
To have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation of a total cost of $95,450. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vela.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Item 4.7 is for the approval of the tax collections report for September of 2017. The total tax levy at the end of September was $20,033,640.48, and the total amount of collections as September 30th, 2017 was $19,359,716.30, which represents 96.63% of the tax levy. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
We do need a motion to approve the tax collection report.
So approved. Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.8.
4.8 is for the authorization to surplus attached machinery and equipment. The attached list is comprised of 4 city departments. Items still in working order will be sold via online auction, and items with no resale value will be disposed. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against, motion carries. 4.9, Ms. Vela.
Item 4.9 is a request to authorize the Finance Department's Division of Fixed Asset Inventory Control to accept the donation of 2 36-inch drum fans. The fans were donated by Texas Citrus Pest and Disease Management Corporation. They will be used throughout the city on an as-needed basis. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
We do need a motion to approve the recommendation.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Item 410, awards depository bank contract.
Yes. Item 410 is for the awarding of the depository bank contract. 6 proposals were received on September 15th, 2017, and the contract term will be for the period of December 1st, 2017 through November 30th of 2021. 4 of the 6 were deemed to be acceptable. The committee evaluating proposals recommend Texas National Bank as it can best meet the needs and interests of the City of Mission. This item is now before you.
We have a recommendation by our city manager and staff to recommend Texas National Bank as our depository services. We do have a recommendation. We need a motion to approve the request.
Move to approve.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second.
Mayor, I have a question.
Hold on, let me get through here. To approve the request, all those in favor signify by saying aye, but first I'll need the question.
If she could elaborate a little bit, there were 4 of them that had deemed acceptable. What standards or what was the criteria used for selection of the?
Yes, we
the
picked,
number 1.
the 4 that were acceptable were Compass, Lone Star National Bank, Texas National Bank, and Wells Fargo. We narrowed it down to 2 banks, and we reviewed customer service, online service, collateralization, convenience, and community presence. From there, we chose 2, Lone Star and Texas National, and the fees were a determining factor on the decision between those 2.
Okay,
What was the determining factor?
The fees.
The fees?
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's good enough. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you for doing a good job on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody does a good job for us, but the one I have to, very disappointed with Frost Bank because they moved their bank out of Mission, so. Were they in the running?
They were one of the 6, but that was a big issue.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Chief Dominguez, you're next. 411.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Item 411 is the authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the City of Mission and the Mission CISD for a law enforcement cooperation agreement. Mission CISD is in the process of filing an application with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement to become a police department and needs this agreement in place with the local police department in order to be considered for a license. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Need a motion to...
approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Item 412, Mayor City Council, is authorization to accept the First Offender Program Grant Award from the Office of the Governor Criminal Justice Division, grant number 3371801. The First Offender Program is designed to assist children between the ages of 10 through 16 that have committed their first offense. The 6-week program will end with the destruction of their criminal record upon successful completion of the 6 weeks program plus a 90-day probationary period. The grant award is for $60,000. The program will be in operation from October 1st, 2017 through September the 30th of 2018. Staff and city manager recommend approval to accept the grant.
So moved.
Second.
Do have a motion and a second to approve to receive the grant,
Yes, Mayor.
$60,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 413,
413, Mayor City Council, the approval of resolution of authorizing the Mission Police Department to submit an agreement for the temporary closure of state right-of-way to the Texas Department of Transportation for the Healthy Families and Healthy Communities 5K walk event. The closure is for the westbound outside lane of U.S. Business Highway 83 between West Quica de la Garza Loop and Los Ebanos Road. The event is scheduled for this Saturday, October the 28th, from 7:30 to 11 a.m. Staff and the city manager recommend approval of this item.
what's the resolution number?
1528.
I move for approval.
Second.
To have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1528. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
414, Mayor City Council, is the approval of resolution authorizing the Mission Police Department to submit an agreement for the temporary closure again of state right-of-way to the Texas Department of Transportation for the Sherryland High School Homecoming Parade. The closure is for Sherry Road between the 100 block of South Sherry Road, starting at Victoria Street, to the 1200 block of North Sherry Road, which is in front of Sherryland High School. The event is scheduled for November the 9th, 2017, between 5 and 7 p.m. Staff and city manager recommend approval of this item.
Do need a motion to approve resolution 1529.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Do have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Item 415, Mayor City Council, an approval of resolution authorizing the Mission Police Department to submit an agreement for the temporary closure of state right-of-way to the Texas Department of Transportation for the Veterans Memorial High School Homecoming Parade. The closure is for North Conway Avenue between Griffin Parkway and East 2 Mile Line to Veterans Memorial High School. The event is scheduled for November the 2nd, 2017, from 5 to 7 p.m. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Do have a motion to approve resolution 1530. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Meade?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item 416, I'm seeking the authorization to execute a first-year renewal with SAV Imports LLC, doing business as Green Cleaning Services for janitorial services for the Seed Building, located at 801 North Bryan Road. There is a 0% increase in price of $109,332.84. Staff is seeking authorization to extend the contract for first-year renewal. The MDC Board has recommended approval, and as well as the staff and city manager.
We do need a motion to approve the request.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the request and the recommendation from the MDC Board and the recommendation of City Manager's Office. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 417, I'm also asking or seeking authorization to accept the fiscal year 2017-2018 Wagner Pizer grant from the Texas Workforce Commission. This grant is in the amount of $496,120 and is designated to train, employ, implement employment-related educational programs and the Unemployment Comprehensive Compensation Insurance Program under the authority of the Texas Labor Code 302.021. Basically, in short, we're going to train 120 more cybersecurity analysts. This is going to be 120 students, 12-week program. We're going to have 3 12-week programs, and it'll start January. It'll go all the way through the end of the fiscal year. The MEDC board is recommending, or did recommend approval, as well as the staff and city manager.
Second.
Do you have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the recommendation and the grant for $496,120, accepting the recommendation of MEDC and, of course, our city manager? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
418, Ms. Bella?
Hello, this item is for the acceptance of the quarterly report of investments for the quarter ending September 30th, 2017, and interest earned for 12 months ending September 30th, 2017. The total increases to investment balances for the period were $533,391.77, and total decreases were $6,340,000, leaving a total of $27,527,571.89 in outstanding investments for the quarter. Total interest earned on all funds year-to-date was $372,459.32. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the request by,
Thank you, sir.
for the recommendation of the staff and city manager. For the outstanding investment balance of $27,527,571.89. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 419, Ms. Vela.
This item is a budget amendment. It's 2 budget amendments. Both of them are grant-related. The first one is in the designated purpose fund. This is for revenues of $60,000 and expenditures of $60,000 to allocate funds received from the Office of the Governor's Criminal Justice Division for the First Offender Program. And the second grant is in Mission Economic Development Fund. It's revenues of $496,120 and expenditures of $496,120, which is the 2718 Wagner Pizer grant from the Texas Workforce Commission. This was also accepted by the MEDC board on October 17th. This item is now before you.
You're on 419?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I move for approval as presented.
Second, Mayor.
We do have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the budget amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
420? This is what we're getting from,
This is a grant from the Texas Workforce Commission that Alex has presented, is to put it into our designated purpose fund, and the other one's for the police department for the $60,000 for the first offender.
thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Item 4.20 is seeking authorization for the mayor to execute a reimbursement agreement between this Mission Redevelopment Authority, Reinvestment Zone Number 1, and the City of Mission related to the Anzal Duas Highway wastewater and water trunk lines Phase 2 project in the amount not to exceed $4,954,337. The Redevelopment Authority Board approved this reimbursement agreement at their meeting on October 10th. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
This is the one that we used to do our lift station?
Yes, so lift stations was Phase 1, and Phase 2 is all of the water and the sewer on both sides of Anzal Duas.
Okay.
You're talking about distribution lines, right?
Yes, these are distribution lines.
Okay, we do need a motion to go ahead and approve the
So move, Mayor.
the recommendation. We do have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 421?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 421 is the authorization to award fleet maintenance and preventative services. On June 12, 2017, City Council authorized staff to solicit for competitive proposals for city fleet maintenance and preventative services. The city has accepted and opened 3 proposals to obtain the best value. Staff is recommending to award to First Vehicle Service, being the highest ranked proposer and lowest responsible bidder, for 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewals. The total cost would be $1,271,145.94. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
This is 3 bids. Who got the bid?
First Vehicle Services.
Who?
First Vehicle, the ones we've had for about 20 years already that we're working with.
Okay. What was the difference between the first and the second?
Let me get you that number, sir. The lowest, First Vehicle is at $1,271,145.94. The second one, Municipal Fire, was at $2,624,374, and Superior Oil was at $3,018,576 with 63 cents, and these are for 3 years.
So, okay.
So about 400,000.
About 400,000 difference? Okay. Well, what happens if they cannot meet the obligation with 1.2?
Why is there so much of a big difference?
We go to the second bid or what?
Probably go to the second bid.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the recommendation.
So move, Mayor.
Mayor, I have a question.
I do have a motion
Second, Mayor, and I have a question.
and a second. Go ahead.
Were there any surveys done to the stakeholders, like the...
Basically, we had a committee, sir, and I don't know if you can see it's attached. We did rank them by different, criteria.
I'm not talking about the selection process.
okay.
I'm talking about the previous services that they have provided for the city, whether the stakeholders were asked to see if the services are being done up to snuff and par and
Oh, yeah,
timely manner.
no, definitely. The thing is, why it's coming up a little bit lower is because we've broken it up in two components. We've done, this is the PM services, and then right now the next one is going to be the maintenance repair services. So that's why it's coming out a little bit lower than usual in the past, because we've decided to break it up in 2 parts for cost savings, and I think we are going to save some money breaking it up apart the way we're looking at it right now. So, but we did speak to them, and they're in compliance. They say they're going to be able to complete our city's needs.
I'm not talking about the company, I'm talking about the users, our stakeholders, like...
yes, definitely.
Our fleet personnel that, are they satisfied with their services, I guess? Because, when you send a truck out there, a fire truck out there, and it's out of service for 50, 60 days, it's not going to help us any by saving this money and having that fire truck over there 50, 60 days. Right. Are they satisfied?
Yes, we've met with all the directors, the ones that have the units, the vehicles with us, fire, police, public works, sanitation, and parks and rec, and we've all talked to them, and they're all, happy with what we're doing right now with First Vehicle.
Thank you, Mr. Rodney.
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. Item 422.
Yes, sir. 422 is the authorization to award fleet repair services for the Fleet Department. On June 12, 2017, City Council authorized staff to solicit for competitive bids for the City Mission Fleet repair services. The city has accepted and opened 3 bids to obtain best value. Staff is recommending to award to Superior Oil, being the lowest responsible bidder, meeting all expectations for a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewals. Estimated cost was $300,000 per year for 3 years, with the 2 options of renewals, of 1-year renewals. That would be Superior Oil.
Move for approval. Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Item 4.23 is seeking authorization to purchase tires from Hesselbein Tire Southwest Smart Buy Contract 470-14 via Tire Centers for Fleet Department. The city is seeking authorization to purchase tires for Hesselbein Tire Southwest Smart Buy Contract 4014 via Tire Centers for Fleet Department for all city vehicles and special equipment for fiscal year 2017-2018 for a total amount of $95,000 for this fiscal year. City and staff recommend approval.
Do you need a motion to approve the request?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
424, Chair Dominguez.
Mayor, City Council, item 424 is authorization to enter into a professional service agreement with Basaldu and Associates regarding training for mission sworn personnel. The training course would be on de-escalation tactics, methods officers can use to defuse potentially violent encounters, including situations with the mentally ill. A total of 145 police officers will go through the 8-hour training course. Each individual also will receive 8 hours of training credit through the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. The total cost of the training is $21,605. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move
For approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the request and the recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from anybody?
Bless you.
Any comments?
Mayor, just to invite the council and the general public to come join us at the Halloween Family Festival. We have it at the museum. It's going to be October the 31st from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. October the 31st? The actual Halloween date?
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Do we have a motion and second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.